Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. Tonight we are covering the angel shark, Squatina squatina. I'm super excited for the species. It's kind of funny. Like I ran right back to my seat. This is the just behind the scenes. This is the quickest I've ever dashed to the live stream setup. But we've got a lot of cool material to cover tonight. A lot of footage on the angel shark. Hey, Howard, what's up? Good evening. Welcome back. We got a lot of cool material to cover on the angel shark, both just like with video footage, with really cool like just kind of conservation articles and papers and biographies on the species, and then also some more in-depth research. This is a very critically important species for conservation. It is a critically endangered species, and it has a pretty robust history as far as its population dynamics over time. So, yeah. So hope you're doing well, Howard. Did you have a good weekend, by the way? And I have a fun update. Let me just kind of getting some things ready. So, let's see. So I think one of my big updates for the week, by the way, is, let me pull this up. I hold on. Sorry about that. It's been kind of a crazy day, but yeah, like I'm happy to share that just kind of like a random update. I got the open water classwork done for scuba diving. So just kind of like a fun fact. I'm gonna be. Oh, nice! Awesome, Howard. Glad you had a great weekend. So, fun fact: I'm going to be doing training dives and doing that in Virginia Beach. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah. Also, Howard, I got your email, so no worries, man. Just appreciate you reaching out. So, and I'll send a quick message back, but. Your art is amazing, and like I love seeing each piece. So really appreciate you reaching out. And I'm sorry, I'll send a quick message later. But just really appreciate all the work you've done, and like all the stuff that like all those amazing pieces, like those amazing shark pieces throughout the year. So. We have a huge collection. Thank you so much for everything you've done already and just like shared. It's just fantastic work. So, and for the angel shark tonight, there's just so much material to cover. So really excited about that. And also thank you. I just saw your comment. That's awesome. So thank you. Yeah. So I've mentioned to you guys I was certified before. Under PADI, and it's just like it's been so long that it's just not safe. Like it's actually technically not allowed. It's just been such a long time that you have to get recertified. And where I live currently, the closest dive center is SSI, which is also like an extremely like PADI. I think technically is the largest scuba diving school, but SSI is like. Pretty close. Like SSI is just as like robust as far as the training program goes, and then as far as like the global reach goes. So I've been working on this, as you definitely know, Howard, and as I would say some of the streamers know, or some of the viewers know, that I've been working on this for a couple of months now, and it's really cool. It feels really good to just have the certification done. So as far as like the academic stuff. The physical training is happening this weekend, so next stream I'll have an update on that. And then in July, the final dives will happen, so very excited just to progress with that. But enough about that. Let's take a look at some angel shark footage. So we'll go into theater mode. A lot of different clips. This species is extremely cool because, like, speaking of scuba diving, there's a lot of opportunities to actually be with this species, especially I think the Mediterranean is a very popular area for it, but there are multiple places, kind of like in European seas, where you can encounter angel sharks. And as a result, there's actually a lot of great footage of this particular species on YouTube. So I think we'll take a look. So this is a clip by Quino Diaz. So want to subscribe to this channel. here is the angel shark. So the big thing about this species, and the one thing you might notice already, is that the thing that distinguishes angel sharks from other kinds, or the classic angel shark from other kinds of angel shark, are these beautiful light lines on its back. They almost look like water ripples. So let's see. So yeah, you can kind of see it here, and this is actually a really cool clip because you can see the species positioning itself to get ready to bury itself into the seabed. Oh, there we go. So it's quickly pumping water over its gills and using the rear end of its pectoral fins to churn sand over its body. This is a really cool piece of footage, actually. And there's a diver right behind it. There are some clips of divers harassing angel sharks, and I did not choose those for tonight because I just don't want to share that or promote that. It's also very dangerous to do that because angel sharks can be kind of feisty. Like, even though they're not a big predatory shark and they don't go after like large prey items or people or anything, there's a lot of angel shark bites. And look at that. Look how completely it buries itself. It's so cool. You can immediately notice towards the head the very large spiracles. There's a nice shot of that, actually. The large spiracles right here expelling sand, and it, kind of helping it breathe on the seafloor. So it's so cool. We'll take one more look at this. Let's see. Thank you, Howard. I just saw your congratulations. Thank you. One thing I love about the species is that it has such a unique fin arrangement, not just with obviously like the large pectoral and pelvic fins, which are these beautiful, huge, like triangular broad fins, but you also have the equal sized dorsal fins on the back. No anal fin, which is like this completely smooth like underbelly to be flush with the seabed. I also love how the dorsal fins fold over to also be flush with the seabed, and then finally the caudal fin can fold over and almost looks like a whale's fluke kind of on the seabed. So this is such cool behavior. Notice like the mouth, like how compressed like the entire head is, and the mouth just is like, it's still this huge gaping mouth that actually works like kind of like a trap, like a bear trap. So it's so cool. Just to see like this such a unique shape as far as sharks go. There's only a handful of angel shark species. Most of them are regarded as angel sharks of some type, like the sawback angel shark, or like the I think there's an ocelot angel shark. The one that is near where I am is the sand devil. It's also known as the Atlantic angel shark, but I think sand devil is a cooler name. It's also the official name as far as FAO Shark Guide. So because I know that this is a YouTuber named TC. So just subscribe to that channel and like in the video. Here we go. And this is Angel Shark. I'm assuming it's from Canary Islands. There we go. And this is cool, coming out from the right, and just kind of cruising mid-water. So it's fun to see this kind of flat shark species swimming in the water column as opposed to being right on the seabed. It almost makes you think of like a ray, but famously, as we know, this is a shark species, and we know that for a couple of reasons. But one, the head is not attached to the pectoral fins. So this is a clear distinction between the head and pectoral fins, so this makes it a true shark as opposed to a ray. The gills are also on the side of the head as opposed to the underside of the head, so that's another feature. There's something about angel sharks that I just like. They have this kind of like toad-like appearance as far as their head goes, and I think they're simultaneously like beautiful and kind of also adorable. Like they're just squashy looking. So just all species, I think they're really cute. Again, don't underestimate them because they do bite up. When divers harass them, like divers sometimes will like try to tickle them or try to coax them out of the sand. The shark will like rise up and bite. Like it will just kind of, it will not be having it, and it will turn on the diver who is harassing it. So. As a beautiful big male angel shark, you can see pretty prominent claspers on the side of its body. So just to kind of point out claspers right there. And given their size, you could. This is definitely an adult male. So usually young of the year or juveniles, claspers are not well developed and they're pretty small. But this definitely is an adult male. Just kind of judging by the size of those claspers and the just the size of the overall shark at all overall. So again, this is a great shot of the distinct color pattern that makes the species unique amongst other angel shark species. So you can see right here that kind of like light wavy line that is reminiscent of ripples underwater that I was mentioning earlier. This is the thing to look out for. There's no other angel shark species that has this kind of strange like water ripple pattern, and then it's kind of amazing when you look at it. That's beautifully camouflaged against the ridges of sand on its sides, because you can see there's these like light peaks and then dark valleys, and likewise the angel shark has light striations and dark blotches, and it fits in perfectly. Like if you're looking at it just from the top down, I mean, it's a beautiful, like extremely exquisitely camouflaged color pattern. So master ambush predator. These are such a cool species and such a cool group of sharks. It's reminiscent of the wobegons, where wobegons use like expert camouflage to hide in with like the reefs and stuff. But angel sharks, they bury themselves in a stand, so it's like a mix of the color palette and the body shape. So here's a clip of an angel shark. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see him right next to this patch of grass. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, those are garden eels. Oop, it's kind of buffering. See these like vertical lines here? I believe these are garden eels, so these will start to disappear as the diver gets closer, because these are actually a kind of fish. They look like plants, but they're actually like a kind of fish that has a sand burrow, and they disappear into it as the diver approaches. So. But this is really cool. Here's an angel shark kind of sitting right on top of the seabed, and almost the fins are angled in such a way where the head is distinctly right up. It's distinctly lifted. It's almost kind of like epaulet sharks, where they actually could do that pectoral fin push-up, if you will. It looks like this angel shark is actually doing a similar behavior, where it's positioning itself, or it's kind of using its fins to lift its head up slightly above the seabed. Oh, here we go. Look at that jaw. Look at that. So that's a pretty interesting behavior. That could be, I don't know if that's like stretching as like an actual stretch, or maybe just kind of like a kind of cleaning behavior. I don't know if that's a warning behavior, because the diver is getting quite close to this individual. But that was a pretty unique display. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. And look at the garden seal. The garden eels disappearing as the shark swims towards them. This is so cool. You can see these little vertical strands, which are all garden eels, slowly falling back into the seabed because the shark is getting closer to them. Really great clip. This is from Patrick Hoggle. So just subscribing and liking. Oh, good. Thank you, Howard. Sorry, I just saw the audio questions. Thank you, or comments. Thank you. This is interesting. So this is, I hope this diver doesn't mess with this individual, because he sees an angel shark buried really like expertly camouflaged in the seabed, but you can see like the caudal fin sticking out in the back. Here's a different individual being flush with the rocks, and that actually works really well. That is also still an excellent camouflage pattern. I love there's so much good angel shark footage on YouTube, which is really a treat, because we have a lot of species on the stream where it's just like we can't really see how they behave in life, and it's actually just really a delight to see, like so much material on a critically endangered species. So, this one is from Diving Life, so subscribing and liking to this. Alright, here is an angel shark. This is actually a beautiful shot of an angel shark. Swimming. Oh, there's a pufferfish in the foreground. But beautiful shot of an angel shark swimming amongst the algae. Oh, I'm not sure what that kind of fish is. Where? Canary Islands. I was about to ask, like, where is this place? Because this is just teeming with life. But this is Canary Islands archipelago. So really cool, clear water. I believe this is still temperate zone. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Canary Islands are getting closer to the tropics, but they're technically still a temperate area. This is cool. The shark just cruising, looking for a good spot to just kind of sit. That's one thing that I'd be curious to learn tonight too, as far as, does a species have site fidelity like wobegons do? Like, wobegons have favorite reef areas, and they'll migrate from reef to reef, but they kind of stay in a specific range. That's cute. Waving goodbye. This is a channel called Joel's Short Documentary, so I want to like and subscribe. And then finally, here's a cool clip from Blue Magma Diving. So another great example of how the Angelshark's camouflage mimics the ridge and valleys of sand on the seabed, where you have like the light areas mimicking the ridges and the dark areas mimicking the valleys, which is really incredible. There's that same display of just kind of like extending its jaws. I guess this is cleaning, but what do you guys think? Because my gut feeling is like this is maybe a cleaning behavior, like a stretching or cleaning behavior, but it could also be a threat display because there is a diver, filming the species. So, and it's a large, like a diver is a large, maybe threatening presence for the shark. So it could be that, or it could be just stretching. I mean, just literally like yawning or stretching. So. Yeah, this is such a gorgeous animal and I love animals that, like, the color palette is subtle. Like you don't immediately see like the complexity behind it, or just kind of like the beauty behind it, because like the color, I mean, it's like kind of on a spectrum of like beiges and browns and cream colors, but then like when you see this animal move in or just like you see it in motion, you just kind of see the beauty of like how it blends in so perfectly with its surroundings. So it's an amazing individual, or sorry, amazing species. And it's kind of cool comparing with the sand devil, because the sand devil has like a kind of a solid color, or like the Atlantic angel shark kind of usually has solid, blue, gray, sandy color, and this has like this species, the classic angel shark has like these beautiful striations. So very cool. All right, so I want to subscribe and like Blue Magma. And let's take a look at some actual conservation and some actual facts about the angel shark. So, and Howard definitely agree, beautiful pattern on the species. So, yeah, we'll start out with ice here in red list, but just as a preview, we have here. I'll put my open water diver stuff over here so I don't click on it accidentally. We have NOAA profile, we have the Shark Research Institute, we have something new that I haven't seen before called Edge. So we'll kind of go through each one of these. There's a lot of these resources on the angel shark, and we'll dive in and learn more about this species. And what I'm excited about selfishly is learning more about the group, like the family, just because there's an angel shark in my backyard as far as like the sand devil goes, and the sand devil doesn't have as much information on it, so I'm kind of curious, what can we learn about Squatina today? And Squatina, the genus, so. But here we go. Angel shark, Squatina. So critically endangered species, you can see the range here where definitely in the Mediterranean, and we've talked about before, the Mediterranean as far as like the Atlantic goes is probably the most negatively impacted area as far as fisheries, conservation impact. There's a lot of sharks that are not doing so well, and predominantly angel sharks that are not doing so well in the Mediterranean area. It's interesting seeing that you have the orange or orange gold area that is the current range of the species. You have this gray area where its presence is uncertain, and then you have the red area which is possibly extinct. So I didn't realize, I always thought angel sharks were just in the Mediterranean. I didn't realize that they had a bit of a larger range where it's Mediterranean. Canary Islands are down here off Morocco. You have Spain, France, Ireland, and the United Kingdom. I had no idea that angel sharks were actually in the British Isles. I thought this was, again, a southern European species or Mediterranean species. And then even Norway, Germany, Norway, Netherlands, Denmark, no idea that angel sharks used to live there. So, and it's possibly extinct in this area. But it's actually pretty interesting. If we were just to take the extant areas at face value, there's 3 different groups now. There's a Mediterranean group. Oh, actually 4. I'm sorry, 4. There's the Greek and Turkey group, or like maybe say Aegean Sea group. The Italian, Libyan, Algerian, like mid-Mediterranean group. You have the Canary Islands group, and then you have the Ireland or the British Isles group. So really split up range in the world. Let's figure out, this is the most important question, why are angel sharks critically endangered? Because this has been critically endangered for a while, and this group as a whole is not doing so well. So let's get this out. Let's just get this out of the way right out of the bat. Why are angel sharks endangered? The angel shark, Squatina, is a large demersal shark. Demersal is a fancy term for bottom dwelling. That formerly was a common predator at depths down to 150 meters over large areas of its coastal shelf sandy habitat in the northeast Atlantic, Mediterranean, and Black Seas. Most of this region is now subject to intense demersal fisheries. From birth, the species is highly susceptible to bycatch in demersal trawls, set nets, dredges, and bottom lawn lines, which operate through most of its range and habitat. It is also caught in recreational fisheries, though shore and boat angling as well as spearfishing. Habitat loss in some areas as a result of coastal commercial and tourism development is also likely to have affected the species. Heavy exploitation combined with limiting life history traits such as low productivity have led to dramatic declines during the past 50 years. The species is now extremely uncommon throughout most of its range, with the exception of the Canary Islands, which have been identified as a unique stronghold for the species, where individuals are sighted regularly by divers and fishers. That's really good. I'm really happy to hear that there is a place in the world that actually has a healthy or robust angel shark population. So, in other areas of its range, occasional sightings are reported, specifically along the coast of Wales, Cardigan Bay, and the west coast of Ireland, the Tyrrhenian Sea, North Adriatic Sea, Aegean Sea, and Mediterranean coast off of Turkey, Algeria, and Egypt. Its status should be confirmed in these areas, and existing and new conservation measures should be implemented and or introduced as a matter of urgency. It is inferred that the species has undergone a decline in area of occupancy AOO. Comparisons of indices of abundance and biomass in various parts of its range of occurrence over extended periods dating back to the early 20th century show declines of over 90%, with no evidence of recovery. Based on these inferred historical declines, a suspected decline in the extent of occurrence and area of occupancy, and the contemporary rarity of this species, it is suspected that the declines of at least 80%, but likely closer to 90%, have occurred over the 3 past generations. Therefore, the angel shark is listed as critically endangered. So as a summary, intense fishing pressure in the Mediterranean, It does not produce a lot of young, like most sharks. Most sharks do not reproduce a lot of young, but there's really like no escape for it as far as trying to avoid all the fishing pressure, like dredging, bottom trawling, coastal development. So this is really a species that has been extremely negatively impacted by development of habitat and human presence in highly populous parts of the world. But it's nice to know, and I did not know this, that the Canary Islands are a stronghold for the species, or a place of refuge. So, I also love the term stronghold, by the way. I was recently kind of studying bull sharks, reviewing bull sharks, and they mentioned Florida as a stronghold for bull sharks. I was like, I like that term for sharks. Like, it's kind of cool that there's different parts of the world that are kind of like big areas for certain species. You could say like Newfoundland may be a stronghold for dogfish. Virginia, I don't know if you could say Virginia is a stronghold for sandbar sharks because it's the big nursery area, but they don't live here year round. But anyway, I digress. Here's good old fish base. Let's just see Angelshark. Any other details? So, Squatina is Latin for skate, which Angelsharks superficially resemble. Presumably tautonomous with Squatina squatina. Interesting. Fun fact about angel sharks, these used to be known as monkfish, and you can kind of see it in the body shape. Let me see if I can get a good picture, like a good vertical picture of an angel shark. Fishbase had one. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, this is the closest we'll get. So I'll just have this load. But here we go. So you can kind of see it where so sailors used to look down in the water and see these sharks, and they would see like the eyes here, the fins here, and a little bit like I guess I could see like a little bit of the tail, but like superficially, if you are seeing this from like looking down in clear water, it looks like a Christian monk, like a Christian monk's robes. Like you see the billowing arm robes here, the billowing torso, like the torso is here with the torso robe, like the lower robes, like the pants, if you will, and then like the tail kind of looks like legs and feet. So like just like kind of using some imagination and looking straight down into the water at the species. Some early sailors kind of equated it to monks as far as like the billowing robes. So again, here is like the arms, here is like the skirt, like the torso and the skirt, the legs, and then like the actual legs are like the tail. So from top down, it kind of looks like that. So it used to get this name monkfish. Goosefish are also named monkfish, maybe for a similar reason, because it is kind of a similar body shape. But angel sharks are sometimes called monkfish, or used to be known as monkfish. And I had a fun time in Philadelphia with a friend. We went to I forget, it's not the Mutter Museum. I think it was I think it was like a Philadelphia historical museum. But they had this like cool exhibit called like Monsters, and they had all these like old manuscripts of like monsters from around the world. And one of them was the monkfish, and they had this crude drawing of, like a man, or a monk, just kind of staring up from under the end. And I nudged my friend and told them that like, hey, that's actually an angel shark. So this manuscript from like 1600s is actually depicting an angel shark, because I mean that's just like the legend of this species. So. So it's kind of cool, like just how it's a unique part of culture that this kind of shark touched. So we'll check out a new resource now, NOAA Fisheries. So we've seen NOAA a couple times. This is the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration of the United States. NOAA does a lot of great work. I have a lot of respect for them, and it's cool to see that they have a profile on the Angelshark. So we'll check that out. And we won't read the whole thing, we'll just kind of skim through it, but here we go. It no longer occurs in many areas of the Mediterranean and is rare throughout the rest of its range, with one exception, the Canary Islands. The main threat is commercial fishing, particularly demersal fisheries, so this is like bottom trawling, that primarily operate depths where the Angelshark occurs. In 2016, NOAA Fisheries listed the species as endangered under the Endangered Species Act. Excuse me. Angel sharks are recognizable by their batoid shape, similar to a rare skate. Oh, interesting. The common angel shark can be distinguished from other angel sharks by its simple and conical nasal barbels, high and wide pectoral fins, and small spines that are present on the snout and above the eyes. So, I mean, that can be true as far as telling the species apart, but again, that color palette, I usually shy away from color palettes, but like, that color pattern is really unique amongst the species. There is, I think I have an angel shark comparison guide, which we'll take a look at in a second, just to kind of confirm that, but here we go. Behavior and diet. Common angel sharks are ambush predators, meaning they lie in wait for prey to pass closely overhead before attacking. They eat mostly bony fish, other demersal animals such as skates, crustaceans, mollusks, and cephalopods. Here's the angel shark's range, which we saw. These sharks are nocturnal bottom dwellers, occurring in depths of 16 to 492 feet, and prefer to spend most of their time buried in the sand or mud during the day. Let's see. Female angel sharks give birth to live young. So it's actually, there's a great, the Ultimate Guide to Sharks, which is a 90s documentary that I loved, actually has footage of angel shark live birth, and it's adorable, but it's kind of amazing to see. It's like, again, sharks have so many different modes of reproduction. So some lay eggs, some, like do the ovoviviparity thing, but it's kind of amazing to see a shark like angel sharks do live birth, where it's analogous to like mammals in so many ways. So it's just kind of amazing to think about. So. Oh wow. Historically, angel sharks were so common that fishermen developed a special net designed specifically for catching them. However, the last 50 years, significant population declines of common angel sharks have been observed, with these declines coinciding with the start of trawling activities in northeast Atlantic and Mediterranean. Because angel sharks are sedentary, bottom-dwelling species, they're highly susceptible to being caught in demersal and trawl fisheries. Consequently, as these fisheries expanded with the use of steam-powered trawlers in the 1890s, common angel sharks began to suffer significant declines in abundance throughout their historical range. Oh, the species is now considered to be extirpated, which means kind of wiped out, from the Western English Channel, the North Sea, the Ligurian and Tyrrhenian seas, the Black Sea, and potentially the Catalan Sea and portions of the Adriatic Sea. It's considered rare throughout the rest of its range. The species remains at risk of overutilization because demersal fisheries, so like bottom trawling, are still active throughout the species range, and primarily operates at depths where the angel shark occurs. So here are different angel shark species, but there's a guide to tell them apart, so we'll take a look at that in a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, and I'm also kind of curious, let's take a look really quick, what is being done to protect the species? Because like we know these threats, but what are things that are being put into place to protect the species? So there's actually, it seems like there's a robust summary on IUCN, so we'll just kind of, do a brief overview. Let's see. So, General Fisheries Commission for the Mediterranean prohibits retention, landings, transshipment, storage, display, and sale of 24 species, including 3 native Mediterranean angel shark species. Good. Okay. Spain has adopted national regulation by listing all 3 native angel shark species present. They're still kind of in the middle of making this enforceable, like an actual angel shark protection. Let's see. Israel has listed all shark species under domestic regulations, although enforcement is inefficient. Croatia has also adopted species legal measures for protecting 23 shark species, including the angel shark. All 3 species of Mediterranean angel sharks are protected within Maltese waters since 2013. European Council released a council regulation that angel sharks in all European Council waters may not be retained on board. Catches of these species shall be promptly released unharmed to the extent practicable. So this is a lot more robust than a lot of shark species that we've seen. The council regulation listed angel shark as one of the species that it shall be prohibited for EU vessels to fish for, to retain on board, to transship, and to land. The scope also applies to fishing vessels flying the flag of and registered in third countries in European Union waters. Interesting. It's Appendix 1 and 2 of the Convention of Migratory Species, so that's actually a big deal. That's on both Appendices 1 and 2. That's kind of not common. Angel shark is legally protected in English and Welsh waters and is listed on the Wildlife Countryside Act. It is listed under the Scottish Elastomerang Protection Order. The Irish Specimen Fish Committee removed angel shark from the list of eligible species for record fish, thus promoting non-retention. Angel shark was then reinstated in 2016 with a view to encourage data submission. Interesting. So lots of eyes on this species, which is good. That's really, really good. And actually, do you think this is probably the most protected species, or the one that is like the most has the most regulations that we've seen? I feel like whale sharks might be up there too. I'm trying to think of the species that we covered where, because we've covered a few critically endangered species before, but they didn't have a lot of information behind them for protection or enforcement on protection. So, but let me know what you think. I think this actually might be the most. The shark species that have received the most attention, because this is a lot of different countries, a lot of different bodies identifying the need to protect the species. So there's an angel shark action plan for the Canary Islands. The following goals are cited. Angel shark fishing mortality is minimized in all sectors. Critical angel shark areas are in good condition and threats are minimized. The angel shark and humans coexist with minimal negative interactions. The angel shark and their habitats are protected through Canary Islands, Spanish and international legislation. Robust data inform effective angel shark conservation, and the resident and tourist communities are aware of and actively support angel shark conservation measures. Interesting. Angel Shark Conservation Network. Oh, I clicked on the map. Angel Shark Conservation Network was created with the aim to facilitate collaborations and collect information about angel sharks throughout their range. Angelsharknetwork.com. Trying to open this because I believe I've heard of this before. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. Angelshark Network. Here we go. Angelshark. Oh, Angelshark Day. When is Angelshark Day? Well, there's a lot on this website. Oh, Angelshark Day is coming up. Celebrate Angelshark Day on June 26th every year. A day for all 23 species of angel sharks, including the sand devil. Cool. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, this is actually... Let's take a look at this. This is actually pretty big. We'll take a look at... I haven't forgotten the angel shark identification page, but I do kind of want to see what this is all about. Okay. Since 2020, the Angelshark Conservation Network has been celebrating Angelshark Day. Big social media thing, variety of talks from researchers and conservationists working on angel sharks. They're still available to watch on our dedicated YouTube channels, 2020 and 2021. Oh, we use editable Angelshark Day profile cards to share your stories on social media. Oh, this is cool. So this is fun. So June 26th is Angelshark Day. I would like to attend that in the name of the Sand Devil. So I won't pull up my calendar here, but let me do, hold on. I'm just going to make a note of this. June 26th, Angelshark Day. Cool. Okay. I definitely want to celebrate that. Okay, sightings map. I think this is what IUCN Redlist was talking about. And I apologize, this is very laggy right now, but... Oh, okay. This is an actual, like, a user submission map. Show me the map. This might take a little while to load. While that's loading, or we should look at actions. I want to see actions and progress, because and all the time we do talk about how sharks are threatened, but let's take a look at like what we're doing. You know, since 2016, the Angelshark Conservation Network's partners and a wide range of collaborators have focused on developing strategic conservation planning documents for angel sharks. A number of action plans have been developed at different geographical scales via multidisciplinary workshops. All of these documents sit underneath the Eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean Angel Shark Convention strategy and aim to identify the key actions needed to overcome major threats to angel sharks in each specific region. The Angel Shark Conservation Network actively encourages individuals or organizations across the range to get involved in delivering the action plans on collaboration. Oh, there's a regional action plan. There's a action plan for the Canary Islands, a Wales action plan, a Mediterranean one. Let's look at the Mediterranean one, like the general Mediterranean one, because that's like the big area. This is kind of amazing. There's so much material here, and actually, this is kind of amazing. There's a lot of big names here as far as collaborators. We have IUCN Shark Specialist Group, the IUCN itself, the Shark Trust, that is a really big European name. CMS, that's another big one. There's a lot going on behind this. Even Disney Conservation Fund. Wow, look at that. Okay, Mediterranean Workshop. We got the forwards. Okay. It's a nice little diagram of how angel sharks as a whole are doing. So there's 5 critically endangered species, 2 endangered species, 4 vulnerable species, 3 near threatened species, 5 least concerned species, and 3 data deficient species. So Sand Devil, the one that's in the Eastern United States, that's least concern. The classic angel shark, critically endangered. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of skim through the whole thing. Oh wow, you can actually see. Well, here's a guide. It's kind of inadvertently kind of coming back to what we were talking about in terms of like comparing the species and identifying. So this is Squatina aculeata, the sawback angel shark. So this looks similar, but you can definitely tell the color pattern is a little bit different, where it's kind of got these bars. Whereas the one that we're talking about tonight, the classic angel shark, Squatina, has these beautiful like ridge lines and valleys. So this looks different. Like it's these beautiful like thin light lines that look like sand ridges, and then speckled like blotches that kind of look like sand valleys. This shark, Squatina aculeata, the sawback angel shark, it is also critically endangered, but both the light and dark areas seem equally sized. So. Squatina oculata, the smoothback angel shark, has a completely different color pattern entirely. It's a darker color, 2 ocelli, so like eye-shaped black spots kind of on its shoulders. Dorsal and caudal fin margins are white. This one looks different, but this is also critically endangered. So there's 3 different angel shark species that are critically endangered. And then here's ours, the classic angel shark, Squatina. The big things that you can that distinguish the species are the large, stocky head with folds with singular triangular lobe on each side, wide pectoral fins, no ocelli, so no eye spots, like circular spots on the body. Young have small thorns on the mid-back, reddish or greenish brown with scattered small white spots and dark dots dorsally. Again, you know, this nice water ripple pattern on the back. That's the big one for me in terms of identifying the species. Here's kind of a cool little drawing of the head right here. That's actually a nice little shot of like just again that trapdoor jaw. Smooth or weakly fringed anterior nasal flaps, conical nasal barbels, and adults have small patches of thorns on the snout and between the eyes. So, really amazing looking shark. And you can kind of see where I get that whole like toad-like appearance. Like whenever I kind of think of like toads, you know, as far as, or it's like it has like a toad-like shape. You got the prominent eyes, like the eye ridges, kind of like the depression in between the eyes. Kind of the squashy body, the big mouth, you know, it's not too far from that. And here we go. Here you can actually, these are all 3 different species, and you can actually kind of see the differences. But again, it's that light, that pattern of like light stripes. That's the one. That's the thing that's the feature that sticks out to me for quick identification. So here we go. I would like to see the common names. So angel shark in English. Sklat Sivak. Sokol. Squain. These are fun to say. Squadro. I like Squadro. Squadro Monaco. Squadre, Squadra. This is also kind of a fun example of how a lot of languages are connected fundamentally. The Latin name is Squatina, but look how close it is to Squadro, Squadru, Squadre, Squatro, hold on, Squina, there we go, Squina. Squalina, Squaw, so the squaw, like the squaw root, that's like, across all these languages, that's a thing. You know, or angel, angelote, angelot, Angie. Let's see some other ones. Angio. It's kind of amazing. Like, you know, languages have a lot of similar roots. Like the ones that have the squaw root are Romance languages or Latinate languages, and it's actually just really cool to see that. let's see. Range and habitat. So historically, common over large areas of coastal continental shelf. Contemporary sightings have been widespread across the Mediterranean, including the southern coast and the western and central basins, the Ligurian, Northern Tyrian, and Adriatic seas on the northern coast, and the Levant and Aegean seas in the eastern basin. It has been also documented in the Sea of Marmara and is the only angel shark species known to have been present in the Black Sea. Interesting. With contemporary captures around the Bosporus Strait. This is the only species present in the northeast Atlantic, with recent reports from the Celtic Sea's ecoregion. Wow. The Canary Islands provide a unique stronghold for the species where it can be regularly encountered. So that's encouraging. I really hope that remains the case. This shark likes to eat flatfish, skates, crustaceans, and mollusks. Lives 5 to 150 meters, so pretty comfortably in the sunlit zone. And that's actually interesting in comparison to my angel shark, the sand devil, because sand devils have a huge depth range. Like, sand devils live all the way into the midnight zone. Like, they live over 1,000 meters deep. Like, sand devils can live in shallow water and then also up to 1,000 meters deep. But it looks like the classic angel shark has a much narrower range. So habitat is inshore on mud or sand. Let's see. Angel sharks are usually grouped together with other flattened species and as aggregated catch. For example, angel sharks, sand devils. So precise landing data are scarce. In some regions, angel sharks have been historically confused with or substituted for monkfish or anglerfish. So, gotcha. Have you ever heard of a goosefish? That's the one that is in the eastern United States and Canada, is goosefish, which are really fun, by the way. Like, I used to take care of one. I was an Aquarius intern in Seacoast Science Center in Rye. We had a couple different shallow water fish, but one of them was a goosefish, and he would only eat with live bait. It's a kind of shallow water anglerfish that has a lure on the top of its head, and it wiggles it if it sees a prey item. So it's a really fun species, but I can see how it gets confused with angel sharks, because it's like they do look really similar as far as like being flat, having kind of like the tapering tail. So it looks like angel sharks continue to be misreported as rays, particularly guitar fishes. That's tricky. In Greece, rhina is a historic common name used for Squatina species and was once highly prized seafood. After the species suffered from deep declines, fishmongers would sell batoid rings as rhina, and they could be sold at a higher price. Nowadays, it is well known that rhina is a batoid, and the prices reflect this. However, there is not normally a distinction between the three species, and so the common names piva, or I can't read Greek, I apologize, are used for angel sharks in general. Many other regions have common names that refer solely to angel sharks. In the Catalan, escat is used generically, as is angelote in Spain. It's not by specific species. In Libya, shark meat, including angel sharks, is often marketed as sea dog without further clarification of species. So that freaks me out, and I think it's a good moment to mention, if seafood is marketed as just something weird and generic and you don't know specifically what it is, please don't eat it. I actually fell into that trap where I had imitation crab recently. I did not question what that was. I did not know where that came from, and apparently imitation crab can be anything. Sometimes shark. It can actually be shark. So just, it's awful. So just, if it's not explicitly like what you're getting, like if you're not explicitly getting like blue crab or like Chilean sea bass or like Atlantic salmon or something. If you don't know exactly specifically what you're getting, probably best to avoid it because it probably is a misnamed, weird mishmash of other animals, and it actually could be endangered species. And this is a great example of this, where it's like you've got this common name called rhina, and then it refers to a bunch of different things, and including the angel shark, which is critically endangered. So, man. I never knew this, that there was specialized gear for angel sharks. I never knew that this was like a really targeted species. Specialized fishing gears were developed to catch them and were named after them. Gill nets called Squatina were used in Italy and Sklatara in Croatia, both derived from the local names of angel sharks, Squina and Sklat. In addition to Balearic Islands, Spain, the fishing gear Escatera were used, suggesting angel sharks were once common. And in France, Martramau were used. These historical gear type names indicate the target fisheries for angel sharks did exist and may have been responsible for early depletions. The origin of the name Baie des Anges, Bay of Angels, in southeast France between... I know I can't say this right. Nice and Intibis. I apologize. I probably screwed that up, but it's derived from the former abundance of angel sharks. So the Baie des Anges. I know I ruined that, so I apologize to the French. I'm so sorry. I don't speak French. So, however, there are no recent records from this area. So, the Bay of Angels. That's actually really sad that could have been named after the angel sharks, and there's no recent records of them now, but the actual name of this location on Earth was potentially from angel sharks. So, man. All three species of angel sharks, the angel shark, the sawback angel shark, and the smoothback angel shark, are critically endangered. Let's see. Also, I was listening to Journey. I might turn it down a little bit because it's a little loud in my ear, but let's go back. But I thought Journey would be a fun soundtrack to listen to while covering angel sharks because it is a sandy bottom-dwelling species. So, Howard, they dropped the ball. Yeah. So, like, it's odd seeing like such a intentionally targeted species, because usually I feel like for most of the cases, at least in the United States, sharks are bycatch, although there are targeted fisheries for sharks, which I was, when I was younger, I was a bit more, not younger, like I would say there was a time which I was naive to that, where it's like I didn't realize that there were still like targeted shark fisheries in the United States. I thought it was all bycatch because it's just like you don't really see sharks on the menu. The meat is not good, and sharks just accumulate so many toxins because they are the top level predators. Like it's just not good. So it's just like it was shocking to me that there was like a targeted fishery for sharks in the United States, and then like when you look at angel sharks, it's still kind of shocking to me, kind of just viscerally, that this was a super intentionally targeted species, that this species fetched a lot of money, and there was specialized gear for it. I think this is the first time we've ever seen specialized gear for a shark. It's so odd to kind of see, because again, and this is probably my bias. I'm just used to sharks being bycatch. I'm not used to sharks being like the actual target. I'm used to like swordfish or tuna being the target and sharks getting caught in the crossfire. But this is kind of wild to read that in the Mediterranean, angel sharks were intentionally targeted. So let's see, key conventions. Let's just see the SIM summary, because the CMS one, that one's just kind of important. The Convention on Migratory Species is a framework convention with legally binding treaties and memorandums of understanding for species that cross national boundaries. CMS serves as an intergovernmental platform to bring range states together to agree internationally coordinated conservation measures throughout the migratory range of species listed under CMS. The CMS Sharks MOU is a global agreement under the auspices of CMS, which aims to maintain and achieve a favorable conservation status for migratory sharks and rays. Interesting. CMS and CITES are the big ones that I always hear about. So, and I always hear about them as far as like, you know, intention, framework, all the countries that agree to CMS and CITES agree to that, to the terms as far as the sharks go. I don't know too much about like the efficacy of CMS and CITES. I don't know too much about like, you know, has CMS and CITES directly helped species? These are also kind of, I would say, fairly recent bodies as far as like, you know, they've been there for like a little while, but like I feel like we're kind of like on the scale of, you know, extinction and population rebuilding. We're still kind of early days as far as sharks go. So like we're kind of getting started. So just kind of random, like I just kind of a random note. Like me personally, I've not seen a lot of like CMS and CITES like enforcement stories or like success stories, but I'm also acknowledging it's early days where, you know, when you look at the scale of rebuilding populations and saving species, like relatively recently the attention has been turned on sharks as far as rebuilding them and helping them. So and I'm really glad that, you know, there's been a sea change in popular culture. Like I think there has been a sea change in popular awareness that sharks need help. And there are some species like that have like that seem to be recovering. Most of them are not though. So just, you know, it's an interesting time to be in, you know, because like when you compare it with like whales, like, you know, I feel like whales was like there was like an international rallying cry for whales, and that was effective. That was really, really effective, and that we brought a lot of whales back from the brink of extinction. There's some species that are still not doing so well, but there's a lot of whale species that just like, or like just when you think of whales in general, like, I mean, they're just there's it's like kind of like almost like a sacred thing. It's almost like you just know, you know, it's like I feel like in pop culture, at least Western pop culture, whales are like don't mess with them, you know, like they're kind of revered in that conservation lens. Like pandas, like panda bears, whales, like they're just kind of like bald eagles, I guess. Like they're just kind of revered as like, you know, don't mess with these species. Like these are the case studies of endangered species. African animals like lions and elephants, and, you know, just these are all, tigers, like, which don't live in Africa, but like these are all like revered as like, you know, conservation priorities, important species to save. And sharks are getting there now. It's just that this is a little bit of a ramble, but like it's just that I think we're still kind of like in the first part or the beginning stages of helping them. So let's see. Historically, the diversity of chondrichthyans was greatest in the Western Mediterranean, particularly in the coastal waters of Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia, with the lowest diversity in the eastern subregion. This makes sense because you know, Western Mediterranean is right next to the Atlantic Ocean, so I suspect a lot of species migrate from the Atlantic into the Western Mediterranean, and they probably don't go into the Eastern Mediterranean as much. There's been significant decline in species richness throughout the Mediterranean, resulting from human impacts, including exploitation, pollution, and habitat degradation, with historical declines in the lazareg abundance reported. The Mediterranean as an analysis of threat levels across all sharks, skates, rays, and chimeras have revealed the Mediterranean as a key hotspot of extinction risk. The principal driver of decline in local extinction is overfishing. Most species are taken and retained as viable bycatch in small-scale and large-scale multi-species fisheries. Bycatch mortality represents a particular conservation concern for large marine vertebrates, including sharks. So I've talked about the Mediterranean a few times on the stream before. I don't think we've ever really seen as clearly why the Mediterranean is like not doing so great as far as shark conservation goes. So like prior to tonight, like, it might have seemed strange that it kept talking about the Mediterranean, but this is a great example of like, yeah, this is why I keep talking about it. It's not great, you know. Yeah, it's not great. Also, hot take. I've talked about Seaspiracy, the documentary Seaspiracy before, which I think everything is quieted down as of now, but that thing made waves when it came out. And it's like when you just like kind of see stuff like this and you see the impact. I mean, there were people I talked to in the conservation world who kind of like liked it, you know, and that was a controversial topic because Seaspiracy misrepresented certain things or kind of like threatened certain things. There are like fisheries organizations that were like really upset with what Seaspiracy did, and you know there are members of the scientific and conservation community who are also really upset with what Seaspiracy did because it kind of like was spreading not misinformation, but like it was kind of spreading like a myth that like all fisheries programs are bad, none of them work, there is no such thing as sustainable fishery. Like that was kind of the message, and it just angered a lot of people. So on the one hand, you have a lot of people like, you know, criticizing Seaspiracy and getting really angry about it. On the other hand, you do have people in the conservation community who are like, yeah, like talk about it. Like let's go. Like let's throw that brick in the window because like it's just there's so much fishing and there's so much impact from it, and it's the number one issue. Like no doubt, like it is the number one negative impact on sharks, at least now, is fishing. And it's like, why aren't we talking about it more? Like why are we shying away from it? Like it's not that sharks are misunderstood, it's that they are accidentally being hooked by the countless commercial fleets around the world, and there's a vested interest in those commercial fleets to protect themselves. And so it's like, you know, in that sense, Seaspiracy had a point. And like, you know, I bring it up now because it's like it's just like when you read like angel sharks are doing really horribly, a lot of Mediterranean sharks are doing really horribly, and the principal cause is fishing. It kind of like, for me, it kind of like, you know, it makes me weirdly grateful that there was a documentary like Seaspiracy that did throw that brick in the window and that did start that conversation and brought it to the general public a lot more, where it's like, yeah, you know, fishing's an issue, because like most people don't think about it. Like most people do not think about it in their daily lives. Like they go to the supermarket, they buy their fish, and they go home, and it's like they don't think about where it comes from. And it's not necessarily wrong. Like that's not wrong because it's like everybody has their daily lives and there's no time to kind of think about it, if you will. But it's like that's why documentaries like Seaspiracy kind of might be important, you know, where it's like it raises the question to the general public. And so like it's just interesting to think about. It's interesting to think about that documentary in particular because that was so controversial in like the conservation community. You had a lot of people who hated it, a lot of people who kind of loved it, but like you know, and it's interesting. I'm just bringing it up because I'm just thinking about it in light of just reading, you know, angel sharks and fisheries, and like, you know, Mediterranean kind of being, you know, a hotspot for conservation concern. And that documentary was impactful at the time it came out, and I think that was 2022, 2021. You know, it was a moment where it did throw the brick in the window, and then I think right now it's quieted down, but we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see kind of like how conservation continues, how discussion of conservation continues, like, you know, in the years to come. So, but sorry, random ramble. Oh, here we go. Sorry, Howard. Sorry, I was just ranting. Whales and dolphins get all the love. Yes, absolutely. It's kind of funny. A lot of marine biologists they don't like whales and dolphins because of that. And like I totally get it. And there's quite a few who don't like sharks because of that too. Because it's like, I would say like whales and dolphins get like the gold tier of like you know, attention. I think sharks get like the silver tier of attention. I would say corals are up there too, and then for the all the other animals, like parasites or worms or like crabs or like I don't know, like algae, something like things that are not very charismatic. They don't get any attention, because they're not very charismatic. But like, it breeds resentment, like in the people who love those things. I used to work with someone who he was a sturgeon researcher. Sturgeon are beautiful fish, like they are really really important fish conservation wise. And like I think we talked about sturgeon before because I've in my mind they're kind of like the magical wish fish. Like they like if you make a wish if you see one, like it's it's a really beautiful, rare, incredibly rare animal. They're huge. They're armor plated. They have actually like shark-like fins, so they're really cool. But I remember the individual who was working on sturgeon really, really. I don't think he couldn't stand sharks, but he I don't think he appreciated my enthusiasm for sharks because it was just like many people, myself included, love sharks, and like what's not to love? They're amazing. But like it's that whole thing about like the eye, like the focus is on this one group, disproportional to like other groups of animals. So I will never apologize for that for sharks. But I would love to. Oh, Howard, we have sturgeon here in Lake Ontario. That's awesome. That is so cool. Because in Virginia they are rare. It's really sad. Virginia, it's like it is. Like you are so lucky if you see one. We have 4 major rivers: the James, York, Rappahannock, and Potomac. I believe the sturgeon are rarely seen in the James. I think they do have a population in New York. I think if I remember correctly, they're not in the Potomac anymore. Like I believe they're in like some rivers and extirpated in others. Extirpated in others. I can't remember the whole sturgeon story, but they're rare in Virginia. Is my point. So that's really cool that you have them in Lake Ontario. That's so cool, actually. Just like if you see one, I mean, just give it my love because it's like I would love to see one in the wild and just like that's just so cool. So. Save the whales, sharks need something to eat. Love it. The ocean is vast. These laws are hard to enforce. That is true. That is a really good point. It also gets really complicated when you think of this is a great question, by the way. Like, what do you do in international waters? What can you do in international waters? Because the law of the sea is that you have if you're a country that's bordering ocean, you have territorial rights to the resources within 200 miles. I think 200 miles of your coastline. It's 200 something. I believe it's 200 miles, not 200 kilometers, but it's 200. I got to get this right. Exclusive economic zone. Hold on. What is the exclusive economic zone? It's the law of the sea, 1982, United Nations. 200 nautical miles. There we go. I always get the measurement confused. But so, if you are a country like Canada or the United States, like 200 miles from your coastline, those are your territorial waters where you can exploit or manage or use any of the marine resources there. Beyond the 200-mile line is international water, so anything can happen. And that gets to an interesting point. It's like, oh man, what do you do about like oceanic white-tip sharks or mako sharks or blue sharks? Like, these are all species that occupy that open ocean area that they do sometimes come close to shore, but then they also spend a huge amount of their time in open water. And so like beyond, beyond protection, because it's like, if you are a signatory body of like a convention, some of those like enforcement or the limits, like, they can only be enacted in your zone. And that's actually interesting because that kind of gets back to like maybe the point of like CITES or CMS or ITAC, the International Tuna. I forget what it is, but it's like I think it's ITAC or ICAT. It's the International Tuna Convention where sharks are actually protected in that because tuna and shark are actually they occupy a very similar niche in the sense that not niche, but like they occupy a similar habit in that these are species that actually spend time in open ocean environment, like a significant amount of time in open ocean environment in international waters. And tuna are highly desirable species, so it's just like these are just interesting questions to think about. It's like, where is that line of enforcement? How do you enforce it? Like, how weird does it get when you get into like international waters? And you know, there is very little or no protection, or like how honorable are these bodies? Are like how honorable are they as they fish in these waters? It's just interesting stuff to think about. So, oh, whoa. However, my friend encountered some sleeping sturgeon while diving. So cool. At first, he thought it was among some deadhead logs and freaked out a bit when he realized it was dozens of sturgeon. That is so cool. That is so, so cool. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Man, that's fantastic. Like, I don't know what I would do. Because it's just like, that's just cool. That is just so, so cool. This weekend, I'm gonna just be in a pool for training dives because of like skills. But in July, my certification dives. Our big site here is Lake Phoenix. It used to be called Lake Rawlings, but it's renamed to Lake Phoenix in Virginia. So, don't think there's sturgeon at that lake, but there's definitely like sunfish, bass. So I hope I can bring my GoPro so I could take some pictures and share with everybody. But I'll keep my eyes out because I would freak out if I saw something like that. So I'm pretty sure we don't have. Yeah, I think sturgeon are just like an estuarine species. Now that I think about it. So I mean, like our sturgeon are estuarine. I don't think they live in lakes here. So I could be wrong. But like, but I'll keep my eyes out because like I would freak out if I saw something like that. That's amazing. That experience that your friend had. That's amazing. So let's see. More than a decade since they were first assessed, there is no sign of improvement in the status of Mediterranean sharks and rays. Of the 73 species of Mediterranean chondrichthyans assessed by the IUCN, 50% of rays and 54% of sharks face an elevated risk of extinction. And angel sharks are example one of the families where all species present in a region are threatened. There are no known target fisheries of angel sharks now. Okay, that's good. So we're not targeting it now. Quantifying the specific level angel shark bycatch is hampered by significant level aggregated catches. Oh, here we go. Surrounding a semi-enclosed sea, generally, Mediterranean coastal states and territories have restricted exclusive economic zones, and consequently stocks are shared among fleets from different countries. The fishery sector has always played a major an important economic role in the region. Okay, international protections have adopted for Lazarus banks through the Barcelona Convention and GFCM, which include a ban on trawling in immediate coastal waters, a comprehensive shark finning regulation, and prohibitions on species retention, which includes all 3 species of angel shark. Ma'am. Yeah, we know there's a lot of fisheries. Oh, wow, look at this. These are subregions of the Mediterranean to break out action plans. It's actually kind of cool because we've been kind of reading a lot of different sea names, and it's kind of cool to kind of reorient ourselves. So let's take a look. So up here, 30 is the Azov Sea. I've never heard of that before, actually. So cool. 29, the Black Sea, actually quite famous. Oh, this is terrible. I always think of Dracula with the Black Sea because pretty sure Dracula in the story was transported through the Black Sea. Anyway, sorry. 28 is the Marmara Sea. 22, the Aegean Sea, very famous, the Greeks and Trojans. 23 is Crete. 24 is the North Levant Sea. 25 is Cyprus. 27 is the Eastern Levant Sea, and 26 is South Levant. So this is the Levant area. 21 is the Southern Ionian Sea. 20 is Eastern Ionian Sea. 19 is the Western Ionian Sea. So Ionian Sea between Italy, Greece, I believe that's Libya. 18 is the Southern Adriatic Sea. 17 is the Northern Adriatic Sea. 15 is Malta. 14 is Gulf of Gabes. 13 is Gulf of Hammamet. 16 is south of Sicily. 12 is northern Tunisia. 10 is the south and central Tyrrhenian Sea. Tyrrhenian Sea was, I didn't exactly know where that was. So Tyrrhenian Sea is between Sicily and Italy. Interesting. 9 is the Ligurian Sea and northern Tyrrhenian Sea. 11 is Sardinia. 8 is Corsica. 7 is Gulf of Lion. 6 is northern Spain. 5 is Balearic Islands. 4 is Algeria. 3 is the southern Alboran Sea. 2 is Alboran Island. And then 1 is northern Alboran Sea. So break down the Mediterranean. Gotcha. Okay. Here is Squatina aculeata. I think it's a sawback angel shark. So kind of split up. Here's Squatina oculata, the smoothback angel shark. And then Squatina, the angel shark, our angel shark. So Squatina has the largest range. And this is actually a little bit more complete than the IUCN one, where it's a little bit more contiguous. So you can see that it's occupying kind of shallow water areas in the Levant, in the Aegean Sea, in the Adriatic, a little bit around Sicily, and the southern coast. Oh, this is good. I wonder if I can of change it. I do want to see this. Page 16. Oh, good. That was easy. Threats. So red are priority threats. So I'll just read the priority threats. Legal, unreported, unregulated fishing, small-scale, large-scale fisheries, lack of specific species, land identification issues, small-scale, large-scale fisheries, impact on different types, recreational sports fishing, wildlife, fishing, degradation of habitat, altered sea morphology, low genetic diversity, bottleneck population fragmentation. Interesting. Oh, constraints. Interesting. So challenges. General constraints were discussed by participants during the Tunisia workshop. This is a really great report, by the way. I'm really glad it's kind of like sidebarred the original plan. This is actually really great to see kind of in depth a shark conservation action plan. It's really cool. So let's see. Howard, I wonder why so many species of angel shark in the Mediterranean. Because that's a good question. If that's your question, that's good because it's like, it is weird. It is disproportionate. I'm not sure other parts of the world. I think maybe Australia has a few different kinds of angel sharks, but it is interesting. Like in the American Pacific, we have just the one species. In the American Atlantic, we have the one species. Mediterranean has 3 species. So, I don't know. Okay, political factors. So constraints. Weak implementation of existing regulations and protection measures. So this is kind of like what you were saying, Howard. How do you enforce the law? A lack of resources and capacity, including that of governments, to implement measures. Political instability affecting some Mediterranean coastal states and territories. Coastal communities' reliance on subsistence fishing. This is a big thing, by the way. Some countries really do rely on fisheries as a protein, like fishing as a source of protein. So, I do need to say that just to kind of couch my words earlier about like, Seaspiracy or just like, fisheries are a hugely negative impact on sharks and marine life. But I do have to make a comment about just like, yeah, this is a real thing. There's a lot of countries that is the primary source of protein is from fish. So it's very important. So meaning like, don't like, I'm not here like dismissing fisheries outright and there's no exception to the rule. It's not black and white, it's complicated. So just want to acknowledge that. Social factors, the number of languages in a region making communications more challenging, lack of fisheries knowledge or legislation, limited coordination of conservation efforts, widespread overfishing in the Mediterranean, a culture of non-compliance in some areas, limited funding for conservation, lack of data, lack of knowledge, misidentification of other species. A lot of challenges for angel sharks in this area. It's really sad because it's like these are not quick to solve, A full understanding of the impact of climate change is absent. Lack of understanding of non-fishing human activities, for example, tourism. Okay, vision. Mediterranean angel sharks are restored to robust populations. So this is a Mediterranean shark action plan. The vision is Mediterranean angel sharks are restored to robust populations fulfilling their ecological roles in healthy ecosystems. The first goal is fisheries-based angel shark mortality is minimized in the Mediterranean. The second goal is angel shark habitat is identified and protected. The underlying goal is national legislation for angel sharks is established, implemented, and enforced. Let's see. So fisheries, goal 1. And I'm just kind of skimming through this. So this is kind of cool. We've got some specific objectives here. So reporting and monitoring all segments of Mediterranean fisheries, including recreational, is improved for the 3 species of angel shark. Incidental catch of angel sharks by all segments of Mediterranean fisheries is minimized. Retention is reduced and post-release survival enhanced through information, training, and education for fishers. The extensive interaction between marine and recreational fishing activities and angel sharks is ascertained and minimized. Oh, look at the... Oh. No, that's beautiful. Sorry, I just wanted to zoom in on this. Look at this. So these are little newborn angel shark pups. And these are adorable and hand-sized little beauties. Look how small these are. And you can immediately see like the striking... gorgeous color pattern, like the striations that blend in with like the seabed, just like even like the little black fins, like the black stripes in the middle of the fins. These and they're so adorable. They're like these little pancakes. I just want to zoom in on that. I'm assuming what this is that it's an angel shark captive breeding program, and these people are going to release these juvenile angel sharks into safe habitats on the seabed. There's a similar program in Indonesia. I think we actually saw that. Indonesia has a similar program with carpet sharks. The late Steve Irwin actually directly assisted in that program on one of his Crocodile Hunter episodes, which is really cool. So these actually work, like breeding sharks in captivity and reintroducing them in the wild, where divers will actually dive down with like a bag of these sharks and like put them in just kind of like safe spots around a reef or a seabed. So that's actually really cool. Let's see. So this is habitats, non-fishing, human impact. So objectives: angel shark distribution is better understood. The impact of non-fishing activities on angel sharks in the Mediterranean is better understood. Angelshark habitat is identified, specifically critical Angelshark areas. Angelshark habitat is reflected in marine spatial planning and coastal development. It's interesting. So this is an amazing report, by the way. Like, this is a really great breakdown. This is from 2019 too, so this is a really great breakdown of what we need to do. We've never really seen something so like robust, clean, clear, like codified. This is really great. Interesting, Howard. To make it work, legitimate trawlers would have to pay for an onboard enforcement off icers. Additional patrols would have to be made to scuttle non-compliant trawlers. This is true. And it's interesting. So there is... I have to be careful. Actually, no, I don't have to be careful because this is publicly known, actually. I don't know how much of this exists now, but... there was a study on anti-research bias on fishing vessels, where like NOAA-appointed researchers would go on vessels to kind of like monitor what they're landing, and these were American vessels, so these were like, you know, it's like there was a lot of animosity between the fisherman and the researcher. In the sense that like it got to a point of like the study that I was reading was talking about, and this is kind of based on like the 90s, I want to say, like 80s, 90s, 2000s maybe. The study I was reading was talking about how there was like a NOAA appointed researcher, like a fishery spotter, or an observer, fisheries observer, there we go, who is on like a commercial fishing vessel, and you know their duty is to just make sure that the fishermen are just landing, you know, compliant species, that they're not landing endangered species, and you know just kind of monitoring the group. And there have been many cases of fishermen bullying that person, or showing animosity, or even directly threatening that person. So it's interesting as far as like when you think about like the enforcement piece, that's an issue. Like there is an issue with that, you know, and like it just reminded me like that comment. Legitimate trawlers have to pay for an onboard enforcement of officers, yeah, and then additional patrols would have to be made to scuttle non-compliant trawlers. Like this would be very, very effective, but the fisheries, I'm sure the fishermen would be like really angry, and like potentially worse than that. And it's just it's interesting to think about all these different factors, and the vested interest of fishermen, where it's like, you know, they're trying to make their money. They don't want to they don't want that interference, and it's just like, you know, it is such a sticky issue for that reason. So it's just like, you know, there's so many things that we could be doing, like what you commented, as far as like things that could help, you know, conservation wise, and then there's so much pushback against it because it's like it's just that constant tension of like trying to have the balanced fishery, trying to like make sure our species are protected, and then, you know, the fishermen being like, oh, but I want to make more money, and you know, I like I'm trying to like, you know, everything is expensive and blah. It's just that constant battle, and like, you know, it's just interesting to think about. I don't really have a point in that. It's just that tension is there, you know, and it's just interesting to consider. So, but those are really great suggestions, though, as far as like, you know, they would be really efficient, and they would be. I like if I what would be kind of cool is like in a scenario where it's like, I mean, if like if we were like autocrats, like then you know, our animals would be okay. I don't know how well society would fare, though. Like, it's just like, so it's probably good that we have a democracy, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but Because like the point of that being is like I like the strict policies. I really do like the strict enforcement and the strict enforcement policies. Because it's like honestly, I mean, to be completely frank, like people cheat the policies. So Howard, I would not envy the enforcement officer. Yeah, that's a tough job. That's a really I've never met anyone who's done it, but like from what I read, it's like that is a really tough spot to be in. And at sea, like I might sound melodramatic, but I swear I'm not actually. At sea, a lot can happen and a lot can go wrong, and it's like, like if you had a lot of accidents, that would be a pattern, but if you had like one accident, that would be kind of like, oh, that's tragic how that happened. Like that. I know that sounds crazy for me to kind of insinuate that, but like I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. It gets weird. It gets weird. It's like, it's there's no one is there with you at sea. Like, I mean, you have to come back to port, and you do have like radio communication and everything, but it's just like, when you think about that, and actually when you think about like further in the past, like the 2000s and 90s, even where there's like you're getting less and less degrees of that, like you have to wonder, like how far does that pressure go? So, just yeah. So it would make for an interesting story, like or interesting movie or something. Like I'm trying to wrap up my novel, so like maybe in the future, maybe I'll kind of make a story or something, or like I don't know. It's fair game. Like as far as like a storytelling thing, but anyway, it's 10:30 by the way. So suggestions for next week's shark. Well, we're gonna keep going through the Angelshark's profile, but this has been really cool. Like I've really appreciated our conversation and like going through this particular action plan. I love stuff like this. I personally really love that here is a codified like this is what we need to do. Here are the issues. I really, really appreciate that that's just so clear and it's made so clear here. So, yeah, please let me know what species you'd like to do next week. I have like, I could throw out suggestions, but I want to leave it open. So just please let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next week. So let's see. Underlying go, legislation and regulations. While status Angelshark's Mediterranean is especially concerning, there are several existing measures which, if effectively implemented, could assist in achieving the vision of this RAP. Engagement of all Mediterranean coastal states and territories is essential, and advocacy for greater implementation and compliance is a key activity. The number of protective measures is greater for Squatina than for S. aculeata and S. oculata, as shown in Table 1. Interesting. So our Angelshark is actually getting more attention currently. Okay, here we go. So goals. Angelsharks are protected by regional and national management measures. Management measures are implemented and enforced. CASAs are protected throughout critical. This is critical Angelshark areas are protected through appropriate spatial and/or temporal management of non-fishing as well as fishing activities. Here we go. Okay, here we go. So this is great. This is a listing. This is a summary of what's going on. So, right, CMS. Okay, so what it mandates: species must be strictly protected by parties that are range states. Parties shall work collaboratively towards regional protection. Species require an international agreement for their conservation and management. Range states are encouraged to develop regional agreements. Okay. Okay. Bans retention, landing, transshipment, display, and sale of 24 species listed on Annex 2 of the Barcelona Convention. It requires transportation to national legislation. Okay, cool. So this one is pretty important. This is the binding recommendation GFCM amended to. Okay, here we go. And this pertains to Albania, Algeria, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Egypt, European Union, France, Greece, Israel, Italy, Japan, Lebanon, Libya, Malta, Monaco, Montenegro, Morocco, Romania, Slovenia, Spain, Syria, Tunisia, and Turkey. And this applies to our species. So here we go. Here's another one. Prohibited to target, retain, transship, or land in all European Union waters, including the Mediterranean. This is for the European Union fleet and third country vessels fishing in European Union waters. Alright, so this is cool. This is actually really cool to see that the Angelshark is actually already getting a lot. There's a lot of layers of protection for this. So here we go. Prohibition on retention by the European Union fleet in the Mediterranean Sea. This is European Union fleet in Mediterranean waters. Protection of sensitive species of habitats. The interaction of fishing activities within marine ecosystems. European waters. You can't fish for angel sharks in Croatia. You can't fish for angel sharks in Egypt. You cannot fish for angel sharks in Israel. You cannot capture, kill, disturb sharks, angel sharks in Malta. Can't do it in Monaco. Cannot do it in Spain. Turkey, no targeting or retention. Very interesting. Alright, so it's really cool to see Squatina, the angel shark, actually does have a lot of protection. Like, lots of layers of protection, actually, so that's good. And it needs it, so that's actually really great to see. Oh, excuse me. And I think that's it. But a lot of progress has been made. I feel like there's a robust, like, baseline, like, legislative baseline as far as, like, this shark. So as time goes on, this is going to be an interesting species to monitor as far as what's going to be next. So exciting to see. Oh, Howard, have we done the daggernose shark? I think we did. Let me double check that though. Because if we didn't, I have a suggestion. Let me look at my Carcarina Forum playlist. This is really random and nerdy, but I'm really glad I broke all the sharks down into their orders because it makes it a lot easier to find, just to verify how many we've done so many actually. We did do the daggernose shark. Okay, so we have done the daggernose shark. But I have a suggestion, a placeholder suggestion for the bronze whaler, which that's not a well-known shark, but that one is kind of like a bigger Carcharinus and kind of famously kind of dangerous. So, but let me see what daggernose shark is. I think it's Isogomphidon. So, okay. Don't really want to do... Oh, cool. I was going to draw the flatfish Solea as prey for the angel. That's awesome. Actually, I love that because it's like Solea being eaten by Squatina. Love it. I'm actually going to start that comic because that's fantastic. Really, really love that. Let's see. So we've got the broadfin shark. Oh, actually, there's a couple really cool ones. So I have 3 suggestions. We've got the bronze whaler. Okay, bronze whaler. Let's do it. So that is, I believe that's Carcharinus brachyurus. Let me make sure. It's a beautiful species. It's not really well known. At least, like, I would say in the United States and maybe Canada. Like, it's not really it's not a popular species, but it's big. And it's kind of like, it's a shark you don't mess with. So, yeah, let's do it. All right. Bronze whaler. Carinus. Brachiourus. Alright, bronze whaler, Carcharinus, Brachiourus. So that is going to be an awesome shark to cover next week. I'm really excited, and yeah, like that's because there was a great shark book simply titled Sharks by Andrea and Antonella Ferrari, I believe. It was early 2000s, and they actually broke all the sharks down by danger level, which in hindsight is ridiculous because there's only 4 dangerous species, and then the rest are just kind of really potentially dangerous. But they had 3 different levels. They had potentially dangerous, dangerous, and extremely dangerous. So the extremely dangerous ones were the bull shark, tiger, great white, and oceanic white tip. The potentially dangerous ones were like, the classics like sand tiger shark, even some angel sharks. But then that middle category of dangerous, they only had a few species, one of them being the shortfin mako. I think the great hammerhead may have been on there, and the bronze whaler. So that shark is known for a couple bites, and it has this really beautiful coppery sheen that's kind of unique in the shark world. So I'm very excited for next week. That's going to be a cool one to do. So with the angel shark, I'm really glad to see. Look at all this protection, like all these different agreements, all this different levels of understanding. My hope is that with this kind of foundation, as time goes on, maybe we'll start to see it turn, and we'll start to see the shark actually recover and slowly become an endangered species, then become a vulnerable species. It's possible. It is possible. This is pretty robust as far as the Mediterranean goes. And then on top of that, it apparently is doing well in the Canary Islands, and it has a stronghold in the Canary Islands. And on top of that, they mentioned genetic bottlenecking in the Mediterranean. You could do a captive breeding program where you breed angel sharks in the Canary Islands and maybe introduce individuals into the Mediterranean potentially. So I'm not sure how effective that will be, but it is a possibility. So, man, so that was a really cool tangent, and I'm really glad we did it because I definitely wanted to do conservation, have a conservation focus on this species, and I'm really glad that we actually were able to do that via Angel Shark Conservation Network. So this is I really should have pulled it up since the beginning because this is a really important body. And let me put it's a great photo of a cute little angel shark. I'm gonna put this in the stream as well. Oh, Howard, any shark that prefers mammal meat can be dangerous. Yes, absolutely. On that note, this is actually kind of wild. We've had some bull shark attacks recently. We had, I think there were 2 attacks in Florida and then 1 in Texas this year. Oh, Howard, sharks are very resilient given the chance, but the loss of habitat is a problem. Yes, the ones I keep thinking about are the little hammerheads in South America and Central America, due to their mangrove forests being chopped down for shrimp farming, and then in the Mediterranean, we haven't talked about specifically what form of habitat loss has happened in the Mediterranean, but I'm assuming it's coastal development because, as far as I know, I don't believe the Mediterranean has natural mangrove forest or coral reefs, but it's probably coastal development because it is a very populous area, and that can relate to dredging of seagrass habitat or dredging of rocky coastal habitat or just pollution. So we have a couple minutes left, so we'll just kind of keep looking around. I had a couple more angel shark resources, and we'll just kind of quickly breeze through them to see if there's any additional tidbits of information that we have. So here's the official illustration from Mark Dando. This is the one used in Sharks of the World. It's cool to see 2 different morphs of this species, a gray morph and a beige morph, but you can still see the light striations. And it's interesting because like those seem so apparent to me, but they're never mentioned. You know, like oh no, its young often have white reticulations and large dark blotches, while the adults are plainer. Okay, that is mentioned. Never mind. Let's see. Oh, pups are born December through February in the Mediterranean, July in England. That's actually pretty fascinating because that implies that the Mediterranean winter is milder, and then England is too cold, and so like the breeding cycle is delayed. That's also really cool because a lot of the warm water sharks that we have in the Chesapeake Bay, they breed May and June. We only have two species that actually have pups here, but that happens May and June. So, behavior: torpid by day, lying buried with eyes protruding out of the sand or mud. They swim strongly off of the bottom at night. They are seasonally migratory in colder water, moving northwards in the summer. Okay. This is kind of more the same, so this one actually might be a little outdated because it looks like it is already in CMS Appendix 1. I'm just kind of scanning through. Oh, interesting. Okay. So here's just a profile from Sharks and Rays Elasma Diver. I was just reading reaction to divers. Easy to approach, remains motionless, relying on camouflage. Will bolt if molested. There's a record of a disturbed angelshark circling a diver with its mouth open in a threat display. Okay. So maybe the videos that we were seeing earlier, the shark arching its back and showing its open mouth, maybe that is a threat display. So I was not expecting that to be answered, but that's actually really cool. Diving logistics. A common angel shark is anything but common. Due to intensive fisheries and bycatch, the only reliable place left to encounter angel sharks is at Canary Islands, especially near Aranaga on the south side of Gran Canaria. I also encountered angel shark at the stingray feed at Los Gigantes on the southwest coast of Tenerife. Once in the right location, the best way to search for angel sharks is to swim along the edge of the reef, about 2 meters above the sand. In rocky or kelpy areas where the sharks have sand they can hide under and access to a good supply of fishes. Although the shark will likely be buried under a fine covering of sand, their outline is somewhat visible. Even if the outline of the angel shark is obscured, they will always keep their eyes and spiracles exposed. This is so valuable. This is so cool. This is like their actual behavior. After a few encounters, you should be able to pick out the signs of a shark's presence more easily. Once you've located a shark with slow, non-aggressive movements, it is usually possible to settle down next to it and gently fan away most of the sand to get a better look. This does not distress the animal or significantly waste its energy because 1 or 2 pectoral fin flaps will completely cover it again. Be careful not to wave your hand too close to its mouth to avoid a demonstration of its incredibly fast bite reflex. That is so cool. I would love... Can we see these images? Oh, perfect. So that's actually really cool to see that advice from Andy Merck, also known as a Elasma Diver, and someone like a figure I really appreciate a lot. And to see that come out in his photographs, where you have beautiful silhouette of the angel shark here, you do see the eye right here, you do see the spiracles here, and then here is one coming out of the sand. So beautiful. The classic striations, like the lines here. Gorgeous photograph. Really nice heads-on profile. Oh my gosh. It's a simultaneously adorable and beautiful species, and yet also fierce. I mean, you don't mess with angel sharks; they will bite you if you harass them. I love this photo here, just cruising over the seagrass. It's so cool. Very beautiful species. Man, that's a good one too. You can even see the eye. Sorry, right here, just kind of like that vertical pupil. I always think of like with sharks' vertical pupils. I always think of kind of like velociraptors, dinosaurs. Just like here it is again. It's a great shot right there. Maybe even like snakes, like vipers. Also, this is a great view of like what makes this animal a shark and not a ray. Oh shoot, I did the wrong thing. But this is a great view because you can see right here. This is what I mean by the head is completely separated from the fin. Like just that deep indentation, that deep line. You can tell that the pectoral fin is not attached to the head. A ray would not have that. Like a ray always has a fused pectoral fin to head, but angel shark. All angel sharks have this kind of feature where it's just they're close together, but they're two separate, completely separate parts of the body. So, great photograph of this species. Beautiful top-down profile of the species here. Yeah, oh, definitely, Howard. Very interesting threat display. Yeah, I never realized that. I never heard of that. I love it too because angel sharks they kind of remind me of like blue crabs in a sense that they're famously pugnacious. They don't like it's a smaller ish shark, but it's mighty. It's not a species to mess with. No shark is, but this is one that will bite back. So, all right. It's almost 11. Oh, this is the thing that I wanted to like get to in the beginning, and we got kind of sidetracked on. Let me replay Journey, by the way. Got kind of sidetracked on the conservation, which is important. But this was the guide to angel shark identification by the Shark Trust. So this is actually really cool. I'm going to put this in the chat as well if you want to take a look at this later, because I know it's almost 11. But it's actually really cool to see this breakdown. And this is fantastic. This is actually a really great note to end on. I'm going to zoom in. I want to make sure. Can we see our angel shark? There's so many, actually. Okay. I'll read all of them. I think ours is on the left. So here we go. The Philippine angel shark, the ocellated angel shark, angular angel shark, Vari's angel shark, never heard of that one, Western angel shark, Taiwan angel shark, African angel shark, sawback angel shark, Indonesian angel shark, David's angel shark. Oh, here we go. Japanese angel shark. On the bottom is our species, the angel shark, Squatina squatina, clouded angel shark, hidden angel shark, ornate angel shark, Argentine angel shark, smoothback angel shark, Pacific angel shark, Australian angel shark, Chilean angel shark, and finally the Atlantic angel shark, also known as the sand devil, on the top. So this is the one kind of like closest to me is the sand devil, Squatina dumeral, least concern. And then here's tonight's species, the angel shark, Squatina squatina, critically endangered. So most angel sharks, I mean, we can see that like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how many are critically endangered on this list really quick. We've got, and endangered is two. So 1, 2, 3 endangereds, 1, 2 critically endangereds. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 critically endangered species. This is the fourth one, 4 endangered species. So angel sharks as a whole, really, really rough group, not really doing so well at all. But it's kind of amazing to see that there's some kinds of angel sharks that are least concerned, including the sand devil, the Australian angel shark, the ornate angel shark. It's a spectrum, but disproportionately in the negative end. So, but I'm really happy to see that angel sharks do have like Squatina does have a stronghold in the Canary Islands, and that there's robust protection. So, oh, Howard, the sawback is wild. Yeah, let's check that out really quick one more time. Yes, that's actually really cool. That actually, it does have a row of thorns on the back. What's kind of funny with this piece of art, it almost looks like it's a beautiful color pattern. With this piece of art, it almost looks like it has like these fins on the back, but this is the dark brown individuals in front of the gray one, so it gives off this weird illusion that it's like these crazy spikes. But even so, the color pattern is like beautiful. Like it's just like this like beautiful white rings on top of like a nice rusty color, and it does have like thorns across the back of its body. I think the angular angel shark looks really cool with its like sharp fins right here. The Taiwan angel shark is like I kind of like how it looks kind of blurpy, for lack of a better word. Kind of like a very rounded face. And then there was one more that caught my eye. The Chilean angel shark has pretty extreme looking features, like very prominent ridges interiorly. Even the Japanese angel shark, it does have that as well. I love the sand devil. Sand devil is it's always going to be my favorite because it's in my part of the world. But like still, that classic angel shark, you can't really beat those beautiful striations in the body. So, but man. Thank you so much for watching, though. I really appreciate you being here, specifically Howard. And we've had some viewers come in and out. Really appreciate you guys being here as well. Oh, no worries. Yeah, it caught my... I just saw your comment. I didn't get the second shark. No worries. It caught my... It threw me off as well for a second. Because, like, that would be amazing if there was a shark that looks like this. It almost looks like Godzilla fins a little bit. It's so cool looking. But, and I would say that's kind of like a strange choice on the artist's part. This is an amazing shark artist, by the way, so no negativity towards him, because this is like the official art for a lot of species. Mark Dando is an incredible artist, but it's just this positioning is kind of funny because it does look like Godzilla fins for the sawback angel shark. But anyway, it's 11, so we'll probably wrap it up for tonight, and we'll just leave it on this image here. But thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you being here. This was a really great stream from a conservation standpoint. And I really appreciated kind of breaking down what are we doing for angel sharks. And this is a great case study for like, what do shark plans look like? Like, what do shark management plans look like? What do shark action plans look like? What is usually the threat? What are usually the obstacles? Like, people kind of maybe cheat the system or just don't really know what they're fishing for, or like I really appreciate that note about the languages, like different languages kind of like people like it gets in the way as far as like clear communication across international boundaries, like a lot of unique issues or factors like prohibiting successful conservation. And yet, even so, there is a lot of coordinated effort for the species, and this is probably the clearest we've seen as far as like, here are the management plans, here's what we need to do, here's what is being done, And I appreciate that the angel shark does have like codified plans of like, you cannot land this species, you cannot fish for this species, it is protected, like. We have this agreement across the European Union in different countries, like, Egypt, Morocco, Israel, Monaco, like, you cannot fish for this species. And I appreciated seeing that codified so clearly, and I really appreciate that robust plan, that management action plan for angel sharks in the Mediterranean. I am hopeful for the species. I think in my lifetime, I will see some improvement. As far as I think the species will start to come back a little bit, kind of based on the plan, based on that lair, and based on the Canary Islands being a stronghold for Squatina. I'm hopeful that this is actually going to be okay, and the species will actually recover. So we will see. I think we'll see that happen in our lifetime. So and it'll be interesting to monitor. So yeah. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll come back next week. I'll catch you guys up on the dive stuff, but we'll come back next week and talk about the bronze whaler, which is a pretty big, dangerous, don't mess with this Carcharodontis species. It doesn't get a lot of attention, but it should. I think it's kind of like a good equivalent. It's kind of like, it's like a cross between an oceanic white tip and a gray reef shark. So very excited to dive into that next week. But thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you next week for the bronze whaler. So cheers, guys. Bye.